have a pillow, please? Thank you. There, we should start.
Yeah.
How do you know where should I start?
Yeah, I think it's
here.
From here.
From here?
Yeah. This is the bookmark.
Yes, this is bookmark.
Yeah, probably from the beginning. Yeah. Because there's no specific starting.
But this is in the middle of the text, so I'll start here.
Yeah, so probably from there, I think.
You can leave this.
Yeah.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janvallabha Girivardhari Gopi Janvallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janvallabha Girivardhari Gopi Janvallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Vishupatnam Supravedikacharya Stotra Shata Shri Srimad Srila Abhay Chandraminda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namachara Shakardas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Paramanande Hari Hari Bol. O glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. O glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. O glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. O glorious to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. O glorious to Shri Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishna Putri Shrimati Radhanath Swami Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishna Putri Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavati Paschatadeshatarine Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We are reading from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. Swami invites the hippies. Is it possible to increase the light? Yes, if possible. That night on television, Swamiji's arrival was covered on the 11 o'clock news. And the next day, it appeared in the newspapers. The Examiner's story was on the page 2. Swami invites the hippies, along with the photo of the temple, filled with followers. and some shots of Swamiji, who looked very grave. Prabhupada had Mukunda read the article aloud. Uh, the lanky master of the faith, Mukunda read, attired in a flowing ankle-long robe and sitting cross-legged on a big mattress. Swamiji interrupted. What is this word, lanky? Mukunda explained that it means tall and slender. I don't know why they said that, he added. Maybe it's because you sit so straight and tall, so they think that you are very tall. The article went on to describe many of the airport greeters as being of the long head, bearded, and sandaled set. It's very interesting story, isn't it? Because Prabhupada was actually quite short. His body wasn't tall at all. But the impression that the journalist got was that he was very tall. Yes. And Mukunda suggested, he guessed that maybe because you're sitting so up straight that you seem to be tall to others. So, yes, because he's filled with God's presence, energy, he emanates this. Many times the word is said that he looks regal, like a king. Yes. So San Francisco's largest paper, the Chronicle, also ran an article. Swami in Hippie Land, holy man opens SF temple. The article began, a holy man from India, described by his friend and bear poet Allen Ginsberg as one of the more conservative leaders of his faith, launched a kind of evangelistic effort yesterday in the heart of San Francisco hippie heaven. Srila Prabhupada objected to being called conservative. He was indignant. Conservative? How is that? In respect to sex and drugs, Mukunda suggested. Of course we are conservative in that sense, Prabhupada said. That simply means we are following Shastra. We cannot depart from Bhagavad Gita. But conservative we are not. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so strict that he would not even look on a woman. But we are accepting everyone into this movement, regardless of sex, caste, position, or whatever. Everyone is invited to come chant Hare Krishna. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's munificence, his liberality. No, we are not conservative. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, jai Shri Radha Mukunda Madhava ki jai, Shri Gaurnita ki jai, Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai. So it's very interesting because Prabhupada never considered himself a conservative personality. Actually, he himself considered himself extremely liberal, and he was criticized by his liberality in India, even by his godbrothers also, by some of his godbrothers. And we can see how by Krishna's arrangement, he was so much covered in the media. Extremely, he was some kind of celebrity in America. This is very unusual, actually. Although he was associating with the outcasts of American society. He was covered in all the newspapers. Yes, it's interesting. Maybe we should have such coverage now. Yes, it would be very good. So everyone was writing about Prabhupada, so he was something really special. Even ordinary society was interested in something like Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada rose from bed and turned on the light. It was 1 a.m. Although the alarm had not sounded and no one had come to wake him, he had risen on his own. The apartment was cold and quiet. Wrapping his chadar around his shoulders, he sat quietly at his makeshift desk, a trunk filled with manuscripts. And this desk was a trunk filled with manuscripts, and in deep concentration chanted the Hare Krishna mantra on his beads. After an hour of chanting, Srila Prabhupada turned to his writing. Although 2 years had passed since he had published a book, the third and final volume of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, he had daily been working, sometimes on his translations and commentary of the second canto, but mostly on Bhagavad Gita. In the 1940s, in India, he had written an entire Bhagavad Gita translation and commentary, but his only copy had mysteriously disappeared. Then, in 1965, after a few months in America, he had begun again, starting with the introduction, which he had composed in his room on 72nd Street in New York. Now, thousands of manuscript pages filled his trunk, completing his Bhagavad Gita. In his New York, if his New York disciple Hayagriva, formerly an English professor, could edit it, and if some of the other disciples could get it published, that would be an important achievement. So we can just see his enthusiasm, his approach to Krishna consciousness. He woke up at 1 a.m. and at that time he explained to some journalists that he sleeps from 10 to midnight. So, yes, no one can follow his example. Just 2 hours of sleeping per day. And then he didn't waste time by surfing the internet. Although at that time there was no internet. And we can see how his translation of Bhagavad Gita was going on. He had whole trunk of manuscripts. It's not like now when you can have everything in your computer, and much more than just manuscript of one book. But at that time there were stacks of paper. Yes, so much of paper. And the whole manuscript mysteriously disappeared. So can you imagine? Just to get the paper, so much paper is difficult. And what to speak of writing it without the help of computer. Hare Krishna. But publishing books in America seemed difficult, more difficult than in India. Even though in India he had been alone, he had managed to publish 3 volumes in 3 years. Here in America, he had many followers, but many followers meant increased responsibilities, and none of his followers as yet seemed seriously inclined to take up typing, editing, and dealing with American businessmen. Yet, despite the dim prospects for publishing his Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada had begun translating another book, Chaitanya Charitamrita, the principal Vaishnava scripture on the life and teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So it's interesting that although he haven't finished one project, he started the other one also. He was translating Bhagavatam, he was translating Bhagavad Gita, all simultaneously, and he was translating Chaitanya Charitamrita also. So, and maybe some other book also. So he was extremely productive, one may say. Hare Krishna. He really wanted to push these books out, that people would get opportunity to get the highest jewel of Krishna consciousness. And these are most basic books that we should study. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he sacrificed his life for writing them. So it's our responsibility to read them with all seriousness. Yes, and trying to understand them and discuss them. Yes, then we take seriously Prabhupada's effort. Yes, otherwise, if we neglect his books, there is little hope of our Krishna consciousness actually. Okay, putting on his reading glasses, Prabhupada opened his books and turned on the dictating machine. He studied the Bengali and Sanskrit texts, then picked up the microphone, flicked the switch to record, flashing on a small red light, and began speaking. While the Lord was going, chanting and dancing, he spoke no more than a phrase at a time, flicking the switch, pausing, and then dictating again. Thousands of people were following him, and some of them were laughing, some were dancing. When I stop, these are pauses of Srila Prabhupada. And some singing. Some of them were falling on the ground, offering obeisances to the Lord. Speaking and passing, clicking the switch on and off, he would sit straight, sometimes gently rocking and nodding his head as he urged forward his words. Or he would bend low over his books, carefully studying them through his reading glasses. An hour passed and Prabhupada worked on. The building was dark except for Prabhupada's lamp and quiet except for the sound of his voice and the click and hum of the dictating machine. He wore a faded peach turtleneck jersey beneath his grey wool chadar, and since he had just risen from bed, his saffron dhoti was wrinkled. Without having washed his face or gone to the bathroom, he sat absorbed in his work. At least for these few rare hours, the street and the Radha Krishna temple were quiet. This situation, with the night dark, the surroundings quiet, and him at his transcendental literature work, was not much different from his early morning hours in his room at Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan, India. There, of course, he had no dictating machine, but he had worked during the same hours and from the same text, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Once he had begun a verse-by-verse translation with commentary, and another time he had written essays on the text. Now, having just arrived in his corner of in this corner of the world, so remote from the scenes of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, he was beginning the first chapter of a new English version of Chaitanya Charitamrita. He called it Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So, we can see how Prabhupada stuck to his daily routine. It's very important. It was explained by his servants that wherever he went, he maintained the same schedule all the time. Even if he moved between different time zones, he got up at the same time. If it was 1 o'clock, he got up at 1, regardless how time zones changed. And he performed his work always at the same time. Yes, and here he translated at the same time as in Radha Damodar in Vrindavan, although he was on the other side of the planet. Yes, so he was extremely fixed, and this should be example for us how fixed we should be in our service. We should allow anything to disturb our service. Yes. We should take example from Srila Prabhupada, how serious he was performing his service. Yes. And he was also concerned very much for everyone in the West to get this knowledge of Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. So he wrote 2 summary studies. One is of 10th canto, as Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his famous Krishna book. And the other is Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So although he was translating Bhagavatam, and although he was translating Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he still wrote these 2 summary books. In the case if he is gone before he is able to complete the translation. Yes, so he really wanted to give us the essence. So take it to your heart and take it seriously. He was following what he had become a vital routine in his life, rising early and writing a parampara message of Krishna consciousness, putting aside all other considerations, disregarding present circumstances. He would merge into timeless message of transcendental knowledge. This was his most important service to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. The thought of producing more books and distributing them widely inspired him to rise every night and translate. Prabhupada worked until dawn. Then he stopped and prepared himself to go down to the temple for the morning meeting. Yes, so although he was worldwide Acharya, he always considered himself a servant. I'm just a servant of my spiritual master. And he said to his disciples, my spiritual master mercifully sent you to help me serving him. So he didn't consider himself Jagat Guru, although he was Guru of the whole universe. But he considers himself a servant. So this is the qualification of being a guru is to be a servant. No one can be a guru if he's not a servant. Yes, no one can teach anyone uh, if he's not a disciple. Yes, no one can be guru if he's not a disciple. So, but everyone should become a guru. This is Lord Chaitanya's instruction. So we should take it seriously to become perfect disciples. And then we can fulfill Lord Chaitanya's instruction to be a guru. Yes. And I was reading recently some essay of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He also stresses that this is the instruction of Lord Chaitanya that everyone should be a guru and teach everyone about the message of Lord Chaitanya. Yes. So it's extremely important to be a proper disciple. And Prabhupada is teaching us with his example how to be a proper disciple. He gives his life for the instruction of his guru. Though some of the New York disciples had objected, Srila Prabhupada was still scheduled for the mantra rock dance at the Avalon Ballroom. It wasn't proper, they had said, for the devotees out in San Francisco to ask their spiritual master to go to such a place. It would mean amplified guitars, pounding drums, wild light shows, and hundreds of drugged hippies. How could his pure message be heard in such a place? It's interesting, isn't it? So some disciples objected of that this was one of the most glorious appearance of Prabhupada in this event. Yes, mantra rock dance at Avalon Ballroom, yes, with different rock stars, and like Janis Joplin, Jefferson Airplane, and others. Actually, they all were extremely sinful people. But Prabhupada appeared along with them, and he turned out to be the greatest star. And everyone then chanted the holy name together with these rock stars and these drugged hippies. Drugged hippies. All chanted the holy name together. And so it was great success. But we can see devotees were concerned. How can Prabhupada go in such an environment? So we should be fearless, but we should try to protect other devotees. This is the teaching from this example. These devotees of Prabhupada tried to protect him from this horrible environment. Actually, it was horrible. It's not just their imagination. It was horrible. Amplified guitars, pounding drums. This is all true. And different fumes of different drugs were there. And as we know, that was a time of free sex. So these sex scenes could be seen everywhere. It's not conducive place for a saint to go. Yes, but still, he didn't mind. He knew what kind of place was that. He wasn't surprised. Yes, he didn't expect that he will go to some gentleman association. Yes, he knew what he will be faced with, but still he went. So we should also go to different settings of this in society and give mercy um, to everyone. But in San Francisco, Mukunda and others had been working on the mantra rock dance for months. It would draw thousands of young people, and the San Francisco Radha Krishna temple stood to make thousands of dollars. So, although among his New York disciples, Srila Prabhupada had expressed uncertainty, he now said nothing to deter the enthusiasm of his San Francisco followers. Some Spirstra, Mukunda's friend, and one of the Mantra Rock organizers, explained the idea to Hayagriva, who had just arrived from New York. There's a whole new school of San Francisco music opening up. The Grateful Dead have already cut their first record. Their offer to do this dance is a great publicity boost, just when we need it. But Swamiji says that even Ravi Shankar is Maya, Hayagriva said. Ravi Shankar was playing sitar. Yes, yeah. And he most probably played some ragas from Vedic ragas. But according to Prabhupada, he was Maya. But now he would go to this mantra rock, which is hardcore Maya, we can say. Yes. Oh, it's all been arranged, Sam assured him. All the hands will be on all the bands will be on stage, and Allen Ginsberg will introduce Swamiji to San Francisco. Swamiji will talk and then chant Hare Krishna with the bands joining in. Then he leaves. There should be around 4,000 people there. Srila Prabhupada knew he would not compromise himself. He would go, chant, and then leave. The important thing was to spread the chanting of Hare Krishna. If thousands of young people gathering to hear rock music could be engaged in hearing and chanting the names of God, then what was the harm? As a preacher, Prabhupada was prepared to go anywhere to spread Krishna consciousness. Since chanting Hare Krishna was absolute, one who heard or chanted the names of Krishna, anyone, anywhere, in any condition, could be saved from falling to the lower species, the next life. So we can see, although Prabhupada went to such an occasion, he was not socializing there. One would say, yes, he can go there and be kind to those people there and speak to them. But no, he just went, make his business there of chanting Hare Krishna and leave. He left immediately. So this should be our approach. In preaching, we should preach what is necessary and not unnecessarily socialize with materialists. Yes, this is important. Hare Krishna. So, these young hippies wanted something spiritual, but they had no direction. They were confused, accepting hallucinations as spiritual visions. But they were seeking genuine spiritual life, just like many of the young people on the Lower East Side. Prabhupada decided he would go. his disciples warned him, no, wanted him to, and he was their servant and the servant of Lord Chaitanya. So yes, this is very interesting time in the history of the world, actually. Prabhupada was sent to the West at perfect time. When young in the West, especially in America and also in the UK, rebelled against the establishment, and they were seeking for some meaning of life, and they were seeking some spiritual substance, because they felt that everything is hollow in their society with no substance. Although Prabhupada didn't know about this situation, um, Krishna sent him in at the perfect time. Yes, if he would come in modern times, it would be much harder, because no one wants to hear anything. Hardly we can find anyone who is interested in the spiritual life. And everyone is addicted to these modern gadgets, phones. Yes, and there is no rebellious movement of young people in society anymore. Yes. It was traditionally that young people rebelled in Europe. Yes, especially students. But now they're so addicted to these gadgets that they don't even rebel. Yes. So they are subjugated by Maya. Yes. Although they were also subjugated by Maya, but they were at least seeking something. But now they're just seeking some immediate pleasure. Yes. This is the difference. So Prabhupada came in the perfect time. Krishna sent him in perfect time, because also his god brothers went to West, but it was completely different time, in 30s of previous century, and uh, and of course they went to the high society, and no one wanted to change their position. No wonder. But there was no hippie movement at that time. So even if you would go to young people, they wouldn't have much success either. So yes, he came at the best possible time. So what's the time? Mukunda, Sam and Harvey Cohen had already met with rock entrepreneur Chet Helms, who had agreed that they could see his Avalon ballroom, and that if they could get the hands to come, bands to come. Does anyone have these reading glasses? Maybe it would help, or at least some torchlight. These are reading glasses?
Yes.
Okay. Then,
If it's to you, try.
thank you.
I will try.
No.
Sorry.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Okay, I will try like this.
Sit next to you and turn the phone light on or something.
Yes, maybe that will help. So, Oh, these are. Oh, this is better if I look like this. Even without light. Thank you very much. Mukunda, Sam, and Harvey Cohen had already met with rock entrepreneur Chet Helms, who had agreed that they could use his Avalon Ballroom, and that if they could get the bands to come, everything above the cost for the groups, the security, and a few other basics would go as profit for the San Francisco Radha Krishna Temple. Mukunda and Sam had then gone calling on the music groups, most of whom lived in the Bay Area, and one after another, the exciting new San Francisco rock bands, the Grateful Dead, Moby Grape, Big Brother, and the Holding Company, Jefferson Airplane, Quicksilver Messenger Service, had agreed to appear with Swami Bhaktivedanta for the minimum wage of $250 per group, and Allen Ginsberg had agreed. The lineup was complete. So we can see how Krishna arranged everything. Actually, this was Krishna's arrangement. Who can get this most? At that time, they were most famous bands in the world. And they came for minimal payment. And also, these owners of this place agreed that every profit goes to the temple. How anyone can arrange like this? It's not humanly possible. It's Krishna's arrangement, obviously. Cannot be otherwise. In San Francisco, every rock concert had an art poster, many of them designed by the psychedelic artist called Mouse. One thing about the Mouse's posters was that it was difficult to tell where the letters left off and the background began. He used dissonant colors that made his posters seem to flash on and off. Borrowing from this tradition, Harvey Cohen had created a unique poster, Krishna Consciousness Comes West, using red and blue concentric circles and a candid photo of Swamiji smiling in Tompkins Square Park. The devotees put the posters up all over town. Haigriva and Mukunda, so we can see how Yukta Vairagya is possible. Everything can be used in Krishna consciousness. Also, this psychedelic design can be used. Haigriva and Mukunda went to discuss the program for the mantra rock dance with Allen Ginsberg. Allen was already well known as an advocate of the Hare Krishna mantra. In fact, acquaintances would often greet him with Hare Krishna when he walked on Hyde Street. And he was known to visit and recommend that others visit the Radha Krishna temple. Haigriva, whose full beard and long hair rivaled Allen's, was concerned about the melody Allen would use when he chanted with Swamiji. I think the melody you use, Haigriva said, is too difficult for good chanting. Maybe, Allen admitted, but that's the melody I first heard in India. A wonderful lady saint was chanting it. I'm quite accustomed to it, and it's the only one I can sing convincingly. It's interesting. So he was singing this peculiar melody. Have you heard about how he was singing in one TV show? Allen Ginsberg. Yes, I forgot the melody. Yes. It must be somewhere online. And he was playing small harmonium at the time, but was very funny singing. Not at all like Srila Prabhupada. Not this famous Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. No, he was playing some other music, some other tone, and really funny, actually. And no one, obviously, no one could follow such chanting. With only a few days remaining before mantra rock dance, so with only a few days remaining before the mantra rock dance, Alam came to an early morning kirtan at the temple and later joined Srila Prabhupada upstairs in his room. A few devotees were sitting with Prabhupada eating Indian sweets when Alan came to the door. He and Prabhupada smiled and exchanged greetings, and Prabhupada offered him a sweet, remarking that Mr. Ginsberg was up very early. Yes, Alan replied. The phone hasn't stopped ringing since I arrived in San Francisco. That is what happens when one becomes famous, said Prabhupada. That was the tragedy of Mahatma Gandhi also. Wherever he went, thousands of people would crowd about him, chanting, Mahatma Gandhi ki jai, Mahatma Gandhi ki jai. The gentleman could not sleep. Well, at least it got me up for kirtan this morning, said Alan. Yes, that's good. The conversation turned to the upcoming program at the Avalon Ballroom. Don't you think there is a possibility of chanting a tune that would be more appealing to the Western ears? Alan asked. Any tune will do, said Prabhupada. Melody is not important. What is important is that you will chant Hare Krishna. It can be in the tune of your own country. That doesn't matter. It's interesting, isn't it? Prabhupada stressed that the tune is not important. Important is the chanting of the holy name. The tune can be any tune that is pleasing to the listener. So if the listener is conditioned to some particular tune, then it's best that we hear it at that particular tune. It is explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Madhurya Kadambini that only on the advanced stage of Ruchi, because there are different stages of Ruchi also, one is indifferent to the tune of chanting. Yes. Before that, we have some liking, we like more some tune of Hare Krishna mantra than the other tune. Yes. It's interesting, isn't it? But most important, as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, is our Krishna consciousness. So he always chose a person who was Krishna conscious to sing, not those who sang nicely, who were able to, who were great singers, but those who were devotees, who had deeper devotion. So this should be also our standard. Because I'm mentioning this because many times, even in our movement, the kirtaniyas are those who are not very serious in Krishna consciousness. Because they themselves, they say that they don't chant regularly their rounds or at all. So consideration should be who is serious devotee, not who has nice voice. It's because this is not a performance, art performance, but it's devotional service. So is leading kirtaniyas should be strict devotees. Yes. So Prabhupada and Alan also talked about the meaning of the word hippie, and Alan mentioned something about taking LSD. Prabhupada replied that LSD created dependence and was not necessary for a person in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness resolves everything, Prabhupada said. Nothing else is needed. So we can see Bhakti is Paramasvantantra, supremely independent, and nothing can help us, nothing material can help us develop Krishna consciousness. What helps us develop Krishna consciousness is devotee association, is devotees who are connected with the Lord. Only they can help us deepen our devotional service. And if we turn to Krishna, then Krishna can also help us, of course, to deepen our realization. So no material means. One would think we can hear. First, I have to earn some money, and then I'll become a devotee. I'll have time to chant. All those who speak like this, they just go and never come back. Or if they say, I have to find a peaceful place for practicing my Krishna consciousness. Of course, peaceful place is beneficial, but most important is our determination to perform Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada was at the best possible place in this world. He was in Vrindavan. Yes, this was the best possible place for practicing Krishna consciousness. But he went to the West, the worst possible place. Yes, and he ended up in Bovary. Bovary was so notorious as the lowest of the low of places that my Guru Maharaj explained that when he was a young boy, his mother said if the room was messy, she asked, "Do you think you live in Bovary?" Hare Krishna. It was so notorious, this place, and he lived there. The most conducive place for practicing Krishna consciousness. But as we said, bhakti is supremely independent. Nothing in this world can impede bhakti, and nothing can give us bhakti except the devotees, those who are connected with transcendence. Nothing of material quality can give us bhakti. Yes. And nothing of material quality can hamper our bhakti. And Prabhupada gave this example. So, Krishna consciousness resolves everything, and nothing else is needed. Hare Krishna. Is there any comment? Anyone remembered anything? What's the usual procedure after reading? Is there any conversation or just... Is there any question or comment, or would anyone would like to add anything? Okay.
Jefferson Airplane almost died now.
Yes.
The singer is done maybe 84 now.
84. Yes. Yes. So yes, we can see. I was born in the 60s, so I still know a little bit of these rock bands. But younger people, I don't think that they have heard about them. Who is born after 60s?
Qui est né après les années 60.
Have you heard about these bands? Yes? In Jefferson Airplane? No? So you're one of the rare people who have heard. So, but at the time they were like demigods. Yes, at that time they were extremely famous. Yes. Especially in America, of course, and in UK and so on. I was born a little late for them. But still I have heard. Okay, so thank you very much. Shla Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Pramanande. Hare Krishna. Please accept my offer.